Hey friends, Sleepy Reader here, Damien. I just got back from the comic book store. Um, Thought I'd just quickly show you what I got and maybe throw in a few comic book thoughts of stuff I've read in the past couple of weeks, probably. I'm not sure how much time I have. I've kind of got my eye on the clock. Got to pick my daughter up from her after-school program soon. Okay, so my shop didn't order me superpowers, and I ended up buying it at another shop, but then they got it for me anyway. So I have two copies of Superpowers 1. This is the variant copy, though, by Franco rather than Art Balthazar. Actually, it's kind of a cool, colorful cover. So me and my daughter have already read this. I didn't realize this was in the pile. And we liked it quite a bit. So maybe I'll give this to someone with kids or just save it for its variant cover. I'm not sure which. It's not judging from the first issue, it's not the very best Art Balthazar and Franco comic. I like their Action Cat comics a lot, and I like a lot of the Tiny Titans. My daughter loved their Superman family comics, which I didn't get into as much, but all of those are worth checking out. Oh, and I think this might be a week or two late. Godzilla Rage Against Time. This series started really strong. This is issue 5. I assume there's only going to be 5 or 6 issues to fill a trade. I don't know if this is the last one. Maybe I can take a quick peek and see. Yeah, there's no ad for another Godzilla Rage Against Time at the end of this, so this must be the end of the series. Had really great Bob Eagleton covers, and this is no exception. It looks like Godzilla coming up out of a volcano. So those are awesome. It'd be great to have just posters of his covers. In any case, I don't know what time period this is going to be about. I think it might be Godzilla and the dinosaurs, which is kind of odd the way they've skipped around in time in no particular order. I don't know if this issue will give us anything that makes things more connected or some more meaning from it all. I doubt it. Archer and Armstrong. I really like Archer and Armstrong, but I'm now 3 issues behind, so I've got a lot of reading to catch up on. And they tend to be fairly dense issues. Still being written by Rafer Roberts. It looked like a new kind of chapter because there was a number of issues where they were in some crazy circus. But now it's something else. I assume they're still on their quest to find Armstrong's forgotten wife of 2,000 years ago. Ooh, very cool. A New Faith. I like that cover. I actually, because of not being enthused about politics, did not read the issue of Faith with Hillary Clinton on the cover yet. I should, just in case there's any connective material to these. I think that issue actually was like 3 different short stories, one of which involved Hillary Clinton. The art looks really good here. I don't know, I did get cover A. I was almost thinking that was a variant cover. So anyway, Faith's still a favorite of mine. Nightwing, the butt shot. Nightwing's butt goes to Bloodhaven. I know that Nightwing was in Bloodhaven in some previous series of his. Prior to Grayson, I never read any Nightwing comics that I can remember. So I don't know much about Bloodhaven. It seems like an odd name for a place in the United States. It sounds like Northern European or something, with the umlauts over the blood. And who would want to call their town Bloodhaven? Okay, so Frankenstein, Agent of Shade, I'm assuming, is going to show up here. Whether he will actually be a Superman, I don't know. He was portrayed very well by Peter Tomasi in an episode of Batman and Robin that was called Batman and Frankenstein. But so I'm looking forward to what they do with him here. It's a Doug Mahnke art. I think he was actually the one who drew the previous Tomasi Frankenstein issue that I was referring to. Oh, cool cover on the Justice League. Justice League is definitely pure popcorn for me. I've really been enjoying it, but I plan to drop it the moment the Suicide Squad crossover starts up. This is part 3 of the continuing storyline, where some kind of computer intelligence has taken over, like Green Lantern's ring and Cyborg and stuff, and it's been a fun ride. I think there's one more issue, then I will drop it because it will be the Suicide Squad, and we'll see whether I pick it up afterwards. I'm hoping the DC will see a trend where their books decline every time they have a big crossover event, but it's probably just me. Aquaman's been very cool. I think I'm an issue or 2 behind on this too, though. I've just been even if my pull weren't so full, the past month and a half has made it very hard to read all the comics. Okay, and Arclight 3. I'm assuming this is now the actual current Arclight. They accidentally sold me some Arclights that came from 2015. Yep, this is November 2016, so not too late anyway. I really like Marilyn Churchland's art. Hopefully the story continues to be good. So I think was this part of 8 House before? I think this was part of 8 House before, so they've just continued the numbering from 8 House, but pretended 8 House never existed, perhaps. And speaking of Brandon Graham, here is the comic book that he edits, the anthology Island, which another one that I'm way behind on. I really would like to, take a day off from work and read about 6 issues of Island. That would be really cool. And then, see, that is nothing compared to the big ticket item that came in my pull. I think I'm going to have to slow down on ordering books through my comic shop. I have to check and see which ones I can get for much steeper discounts. But I got my 25% discount on this. It's a $50 hardback book called Jack Kirby Pencils and Inks, Artisan Edition. There is no artist edition of this, at least not yet. I'd be pretty bummed if I bought this and then they come out with a giant edition. First issues, Demon, Commandy, and OMAC. So the idea is, here's the front piece, that's nice. The idea is that we get the pencils on one page and the inks on the other page. Just for those of you like me who are so crazily into comics, you want to compare them, especially in the work of this master. It's a certain irony that these are the pages inked by Mike Royer, who was one of Kirby's most faithful inkers. So there's going to be the least amount of changes. But I still am super delighted to have this book. It feels super high quality. The paper feels really great. I believe that the pencils were Xeroxes that Kirby made before he gave them to Mike Royer, because they used to ink just on the physical page. So the pencils do not exist anymore. So they would have to have taken them from Xeroxes. I'm sure there's an introduction here. I'm sure they'll explain what's going on. There's a picture of Mike Royer inking. Very unglamorous picture. It's just a job inking. But Mike Royer was an excellent inker. I really loved. It's hard to compare my favorite inkers on Kirby, Sinnott and Royer. I think if I had to choose one, I would choose Royer. I do have to say, in the few times that Bill Everett inked Kirby, that was awesome. And another interesting inker of Kirby is Wally Wood. But here's some interesting stuff here. I'm not sure. Maybe there's 2 versions of a page here. I'm not sure what I'm looking at. So yeah, for me, this is a must-have, kind of a Kirby ephemera completist at this point, but especially anything that really gives you a deep look at Kirby's art is well worth it for me, and something I will look at over and over again. Yeah, okay, I lied at the beginning when I said I might do some reviews, comic book thoughts on stuff I've read before. I'll have to see if I have time for it at some later occasion, because I have to get ready before I pick up the daughter. I almost called her the sibling. What's wrong with me?